that's better than the rest. This is 101.9 ChaiFM.
Good morning and welcome to the Kabanah show, Body, Mind and Soul of Emuna and the month of Kislev and Chanukah. It is Wednesday, the 20th of November, the 17th of Kislev, and it is 3 minutes past 10. And before I begin and to introduce my guest, my very, very special guest, I would like to shout out a huge mazel tov to my best friend in the world, Shana and Stan, who just got engaged. And it is through my show that they actually met each other, and they, please God, will be married on the 8th of December. So this morning, I have a real treat for everybody. I have Orit Riter, who's going to be my guest via Skype from Ramat Bet Shemesh in Israel, known as Israel's Emunah lady from the Daily Doses of Emunah. So Orit encounters women from all daily walks of life and from all over the world in order to offer emotional strength and direction that she weaves in with honesty and with care. The emphasis is to leave women with a greater feeling of Emuna, light and hope. She is a wife, a mother of 5 and a grandson. And so also Orit would just like us to know that Chanukah is a festival of Emuna, trust and hope. And the daily doses of Emuna are lessons that provide just that. The goal is to provide spiritual nourishment for the starving souls, practical coping skills on how to tackle life's challenges. Food for the soul is just as important as food for the body. So to be a partner in the production of the Daily Doses of Emunah's first book that is authored by Orit Riter. The book is called 180 Degrees in 180 Days. And please, all listeners, to consider over Chanukah, especially as a wonderful dedication, to sponsoring a page in memory of a loved one or the merit of children for refuah shlema, for complete healing and a recovery from illness, and a token of gratitude for blessed sustenance and a shidduch, or any endeavor for hatzlacha. The book and all the Daily Dose of Emunah teachings and projects have already received rabbinical hashgamot on the importance of providing Emunah, chizuk, and emotional guidance, particularly during our current times. All information can be found on the website of www.dailydoseofemunah.com and on the book sponsorship page, info page. So, Orit, we're going to be speaking about Kislev and we're going to be speaking about Chanukah, and you have absolute wellsprings of knowledge and such gifts to share with our listeners. So just the little bit that I understand of the month of Kislev, which is the month that we're in now, the 17th, and please God, next week will be Chanukah, which is the 25th of Kislev, and it is yours and my birth month.
Yes. Happy birthday.
That was such a beautiful knowing a fellow traveler in the month of Kislev. It was lovely to find that out. So
yes.
So Kislev is associated with the organ of the kidney, and so on the body, mind, and soul, I like to mention a little bit about the actual anatomy of the kidney. So the physicality is the two organs, left and right, and they're about 5 or 4 inches long, which is not very big, about the size of one's own fist. And the kidneys function to filter blood, and the blood passes through the kidney several times a day to remove all the waste and to control body fluid balance and regulate balance of electrolytes. And then the kidneys filter, of course, the urine, which collects in the bladder, and then that is voided. And then each kidney contains millions of units called the nephrons, which of course is microscopic filter for the blood. It's possible to lose as much as 90% of the kidney function without actually experiencing symptoms or problems. And from the emotional side, somebody that has, where the kidneys are not functioning properly or beginning to fail, of course the waste products build up, they're swollen, they're waterlogged, and the torture of living day to day, where they've got to attend dialysis 3 times a week for up to 8 hours of that day, and they waiting for a kidney, waiting for a donation of a kidney, and then with that is a very, very restricted diet of protein. They have very little protein, and they have very little fluid intake. The fluid balance has to be so precise in terms of actually living with kidneys that aren't working properly. So when we look at the spiritual dimension of the kidney, that's where we have the left and right. And so that's where we look at the word Kislev. So that's the organ of Kislev. So Orit, welcome, and won't you share with us and the listeners about the month of Kislev, about the organ, about the letter that's involved, and the sign of the zodiac and the tribe. So welcome, Orit.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me back again. It's a pleasure to be connected to such a beautiful country in the world, South Africa. Thank you so much. So yes, the month of Kislev is a very, very special month. With every month, there's sort of a spiritual energy, as you want to call it, that you can tap into and from that grow spiritually. The month of Kislev, just to begin, I mean, the word itself, Kislev, is derived from the word Kesel. Kesel, which really is defined as trust, security, light, hope. So embedded in this month of Kislev, and that when I say Kislev, it means really from the beginning of the month all the way to the end of the month. It's the peak of it is, of course, felt on Chanukah, but really this whole ambiance and spiritual energy is really flowing to us throughout the entire month. And all that we're going to be talking about today are really tips and tools that we could practice before we even get to the place of Chanukah, so that when we sit there and gaze at those beautiful, beautiful Chanukah flames, we could say, I prepared myself, and now I have this half an hour to gaze at those lights. And we'll talk about that soon, about the importance of that first half an hour after you light those Hanukkah candles. But I'll come prepared because I will have done some homework and preparation skills. But if you look at the word actually Kislev, you'll see that the middle letter of it is the letter Samach. Now, Samach also has meaning in it. It means somech. The word somech comes from it, which means to support. So not only is the letter of the month a samach, but inside the word Kislev is the letter samach, quite nestled in between the kaf and the lamed. Somech, which means support. What is Hashem saying to us? Well, first of all, let's look at the anatomy, so to speak, of the letter itself. The top of the letter Samach is a straight line, which according to the Sefer Yetzirah, which is a Kabbalistic Sefer written by Abraham Avinu, sort of a little Kabbalistic, a little mystical here we're going, but it's important to understand. The top of the letter is a straight line, which sort of depicts the idea of Shamayim, of the heavens spreading, on top of us. Then if you look at the other part of the letter, there's a line going down from, half a circle going down from the line on top and sort of closing that line up. So that is basically depicting the imagery, if you want to sort of envision to yourself, of Hashem's hand coming down from Shemayim, scooping us up from underneath and carrying us back up, sealing that half a circle, closing it, as you will, from side to side of that line of Shemayim. And in that, if you can envision the scoop of an arm, holding a baby, it's Hashem holding us and caressing us and saying, I'm going to support you.
Wow, wow.
I'm holding you. I'm lifting you up. Isn't that amazing how in this month, this is remarkable. It's just remarkable and we're just delving on the surface. This is nothing in terms of the infinite mysteries of the month and the spiritual energy that we could tap into. So it's Hashem lifting us up, strengthening us. So this corresponds precisely to the energy of the month of trusting in Hashem. And as you mentioned before, Kesel in the Torah Talmudic language also refers to the kidneys.
Yes.
The kidneys, according to Rebbe Nachman, are the organs, spiritually, they're the organs that allow us to receive all pieces of advice from Shemayim. So in other words, every time I'm thinking of an idea, I'm getting sort of this idea, it's actually coming to me physically through my kidneys, which is very interesting. The kidneys giving us words of advice. Now, one of the problems that I have is if I'm embedded very much and steeped into the materialistic perspective of this world, I'm very, I'm very attached to my materialism, material life. Again, there's nothing wrong with it, but if I'm overly attached to it, what happens is this layer of fat starts to slowly emerge on the top of the kidneys, surrounding, so to speak, of the kidneys. So the messages that I'm getting from Shemayim, these pieces of advice, words of wisdom, what should I do, Hashem? Should I turn right? Should I turn left? Should I do this? Should I do that? Should I take the job? Should I not, buy this apartment? Should I move? Should I not? All these words of wisdom and advice that I get, so to speak, through the physicality of my organs called the kidneys, it now is not received in clear line. It's like, if you want to envision, receiving medicine from an unsanitized line of IV. So you get the medicine, but the medicine's not coming through in a clear line and a healthy line. It's not going to do me good. Same to speak, if you want, to understand that when I get my messages now, if I'm embedded in my physicality and not focusing on my spirituality, and the message that comes through to me, they're not clear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's important that we focus on our spirituality so that the messages that I get from Hashem aren't distorted. The satellite is clear, the reception lines are clear, and I'm understanding exactly what it is that Hashem is trying to advise and offer me in terms of wisdom and advice. Another remarkable, insightful insight to the whole month of Kislev. If you look at the sign of the month, it's a bow, Sagittarius, a keshet. The whole theme of Chanukah belongs also to the tribe of Binyamin, which is the tribe of the month. Now, interestingly enough, Binyamin was most gifted in the art of archery. Okay, so now let's look for a moment into the hobby of archery. It's first of all one that requires a lot of calm, a lot of rest, a lot of trust. The whole idea of aiming, of shooting, of hitting a target requires trust. I have to keep my hand steady. I have to keep focused on the goal, right? The goal of life, on the target. My eye has to constantly be on the target. Now, once I pull back on that arrow, I'm feeling the tension of the archery against that arrow. First of all, that's likened to the hishtadlus, the concerted effort that I'm putting into my life. How much of an effort am I going to be to pull that arrow back? Am I going to do a minimal amount of effort in my life to ensure that which I wish to occur? Or am I going to pull really tightly back on that arrow to the point where I'm exerting a tremendous amount of effort? The more effort I put into pulling that arrow back, the less Emuna I really have, because it gives me this illusionary feel as if the more I pull back, the farther the arrow will go. But wait a minute. The minute I let go of that arrow, anything can happen. It's in the air. I'm not in charge of it anymore. It's, so to speak, in Hashem's hands, where it will fall. Will it hit the target? Will it go right, left, up, down? Suddenly a wind of a strong wind can blow the arrow and it'll go totally to the left or to the right. Maybe I accidentally let go of it and, didn't keep my eye focused on it, and now it's falling down. Anything can happen the minute I let go of that arrow. And that shows trust. That enjoins Hashem in our life, where I'm saying, Hashem, look, I'm putting in my effort in this world because I have to. That's your instruction. The curse per se of Adam Rishon was, by the sweat of your brow you will eat bread. So Hashem said, you have to involve yourself in worldly matters, but I'm the one who's going to actually bring about the result.
Amazing, absolutely amazing, Orit.
So that, yeah, it is. It's embedded in so much mystery this month.
Yes.
Should I continue?
We just need to take a break, and we'll be back now.
From talk to music, from Johannesburg to Israel, from sport to business, this is 101.9 ChaiFM.
So ChaiFM means life. Chai means life, and ChaiFM gives you the best of life. So for our birthday, which is this month, we want to give you the opportunity to travel the world. It's ChaiFM's 5th birthday this month, and we want to give you a round-trip business class ticket to any destination on Turkish Airlines. If you think you could put a business class ticket to any destination to good use, this is what you have to do. So SMS Turkish, your full name, email address, and your choice of destination to our our SMS, which is 34519, and SMS are charged R1.50, and you can enter as many times as you like. Each SMS will be a separate entry, and the draw will take place at ChaiFM's 5-year birthday bash on the 25th of November, which is next week, and T's and C's apply. And so, Orit, we were talking about the bow and drawing back with a patience and the aim. But once that arrow is let go, that's out of our hands. So our work is the focus, the attachment to Hashem, and then to draw back with concentration and aim, and then to let go.
Yeah, and it's the hardest part, because as human beings, we all love to seek control. I mean, the worst thing you could tell to someone in life is that they're not in control. We are, quote unquote, animals of control. We love to know what's going to be, how's it going to be. I paid my rent this month. How am I going to pay it next month? What am I going to do this Shabbos? How am I going to save up for tomorrow? We constantly have this draw to feel like we're in control. And that's exactly where self-discipline and Emuna comes in, is I ask Hashem, I'm giving my control over to you because you know what's best. I don't know what's best for me. I can think, how many times have we planned things and then suddenly realized it wasn't a really good choice? Mm-hmm. Hashem has this ability to see the years before I was in this world, the years, God willing, that are going to be after me in this world. He sees the whole picture. It's like walking into a movie an hour into the movie and expecting to understand the plot. Well, I missed the whole hour of the movie. How am I supposed to understand what the movie's about? I have to have sat through the entire movie, or leaving at the end and wondering, well, probably he did this or she did that. Well, maybe I was wrong. I didn't see the entire movie. So it's the same thing. I'm not here for the entire span of history. I don't know. So I have to relinquish control, but I can't do that if I'm going to be fretful and frightful and in fear that the driver of my bus that's driving me to my final destination, so to speak, Hashem, the supreme authority, if I'm not trusting in him that he's going to take me to the right destination, then I can't go through life enjoying the scenery when I'm on the bus.
Yes.
I'm going to be scared that he's going to miss a turn. He's going to, crash, God forbid, into a car. I have to be in this inner calmness, tranquility that's surrounding me. And if not, then I guess I have to delude myself into thinking I am in control and I have to do more effort. But really, at the end of the day, it really is a delusion, because we really do not control at least any of our material life we don't control. Yeah.
And so tying that into Chanukah, and so there's this aspect of bitochen and there's aspect of Emuna, which is really, Emuna is above logic. So it brings us into the world of what we perceive as miracles.
Yeah. Well, if you really look at it closely, what is the difference between nature and miracle? I mean, really, if you look at it, everything's a miracle.
Yes.
Just because I woke up yesterday and I was able to open my eyes and see, and I'm able to do the same thing, Baruch Hashem, thank God, today, that doesn't mean it's not a miracle. What we have to understand is the real difference between nature and miracle. And I have a couple of Daily Dose of Emuna articles on this, where, I'm trying to bring it down to a core where we understand all nature is a disguise. It's a mask. I know you have from South Africa the amazing Rabbi Akiva Tatz, right?
Yes, yes, this is his roots. He originates from here.
Yes, so he has actually a book, a beautiful book called, I think, The Mask of the World, or something of that sort, where he talks about this a lot. Is that the whole idea? If actually you take the word hateva, which means the nature, and you come to the numerical value of it, it equals Elohim, Hashem. It equals God, the same number value of God, because Hashem hides himself, so to speak, in nature. So when I say, oh, it's natural, it's normal circumstances, it's something that's to be expected, I'm actually saying it is Hashem, but it's just an everyday occurrence. Yet, what is a miracle? Miracle means I have been accustomed to a certain way of thinking or perceiving, and now something's changed out of that realm of normalcy. And so I perceive it as a miracle. But in essence, they're both from Hashem. There is no difference between nature and miracle. It's really all one and the same. It's just how I perceive it. So if I go through life and I see my life, even though it seemingly is flowing in a normal pattern, I'm able to get up and move my legs, move my arms, and breathe and see. It's tedious work to start looking at every little perspective of my life, every aspect of my life, and to see the miracle in it. But that is the key to happiness. The key to happiness is to appreciate everything that I have, and I'll tell you a very famous quote, which is very, very meaningful, talking on the whole note of gratitude. I'd love for all of us, including myself, to really live by this motto. What would happen if I woke up tomorrow with only the things that I was thankful for today? Is that not powerful?
That is so profound.
What would I do? Yesterday, God forbid, I didn't thank God for the ability to walk. And me with my MS, let me tell you, every day I get up and I stretch my legs out and I'm able to focus and see and not have tremors and be able to swallow and be able to speak clearly and think clearly. And just because I woke up yesterday, with all this ability, if I didn't thank God for it, what would happen if today I woke up with it, God forbid, and I didn't have that? That really brings it down to us in a very real sense. And in this month, we have the ability, if I've never lived a life of Emuna, if I've never been able to subjugate my will and sort of really cast away my burden onto Hashem, in this month, if I used every moment of this month before Hanukkah, way before Hanukkah, starting now, right now, just having a conversation one-on-one with Hashem and saying, Hashem, look, I don't really know you, but I want to get to know you. And I've been told this is the month to get to know you. This is the festival of Emunah, is Hanukkah. I want to get to trust in you. So I'm going to start acknowledging you in all aspects of my life, or as many as I can choose and be aware of. This is the month to do it.
Yes, yes. Marvelous. And so the sense of Kislev, our body sense, that the energy that comes in with it.
Right. So the act of the month. So first of all, just to touch back a little bit on the whole idea of Binyamin, Shevet Binyamin, the tribe of Binyamin. He was the only one born actually in Israel, and he's actually depicted. Moshe Rabbeinu writes in the Torah, and Binyamin is the most beloved on Hashem. So also what we see here in this month, because of the tribe of Binyamin being the tribe of the month, we see that again in this month is an outpouring, a flow, so to speak, of endless love of Hashem onto his Jewish, onto the Jewish people, onto the nation. The act of the month, which is also, it's just really amazing how you can see it building one on top of the other, from the meaning of the word Kislev, to the letter of the month, to the symbol of the month, to the tribe of the month, and now finally reaching the act of the month to rectify. And it's very funny because everyone laughs when I say this, but the act of the month is sleeping.
Yes.
So everyone thinks, okay, am I supposed to sleep more, sleep less, wake up early, wake up late? But it's very interesting when you actually look at the whole idea of sleeping. You'll be able to detect the fact that you can only sleep in an environment that you feel safe and secure. Because if I'm not secure, if I think there are bugs crawling around me, or that the bed is not steady on the ground, or that, God forbid, the door is left open, and God forbid someone's going to invade my privacy, God forbid, I can't sleep well. So I'm going to be in this stressful, worrisome state, and I won't be able to sleep tranquil and really let go of all that anxiety. So when I rectify the idea of sleeping, what Hashem is really telling us is that I want you to live life stress-free. I want you to be confident in my support. And when you sleep well, you're going to dream happy thoughts, and you're going to be more positive. So the idea behind rectifying sleep is not that I should really sleep more, but I should have quality sleep. I should be able to really enjoy my rest and let go of all my anxiety and worry. That's Emuna.
Yes, yes. And so the symptoms that I would often see around me is people are struggling with insomnia. They're struggling through the night just to be with themselves, just to be able to get the rest that they need.
Yeah.
Yes.
We can't let go. This is all coming back to what we were saying in the beginning of the program, is that really we can't let go. It's very hard for us to let go. But there are baby steps in Emuna. We can't just jump into Emuna and say, okay, that's it. I'm so inspired by today's show. I'm going out there. That's it, Hashem. I'm casting everything onto you. I'm not going to worry about a thing. That's a jump of the loop. That's just not going to happen. Emuna is in baby steps.
Yes.
Emuna is derived from the word lehitamen, to train. It requires constant training. In fact, as Chazal, the holy sages of the past, sort of to liken this world to an exercise room where I can exercise my Emuna muscles, where I can train myself to perceive Hashem in those places that I really have not looked or didn't notice before, that were, filled with Hashem's presence. Simple act. I go into the supermarket and I'm choosing from a whole pile of tomatoes. I'm going to choose one tomato versus the other tomato. That, even has what we call hashgacha pratit, a divine providence in it. Why do I choose this tomato versus the other tomato? Well, the Arizal teaches us that in every product, in every food item, there is a nefesh. There's the lower level of the soul. The soul has five levels to it. The lowest level of the soul is called the nefesh. It's the animalistic part of the soul. In every food item, there is a nefesh. Sort of, you would call, not get too deep into it, it's sort of a reincarnation of somebody's spark of a soul. If I chose one tomato versus the next, it means that I have the ability to rectify that nefesh. Through my bracha that I'm reciting on that tomato, I, and only I, not my neighbor, not my mother, not my sister, not my brother, nobody, I'm the only one who can bring about the soul rectification of the nefesh that's sitting in that tomato. So when I'm going through that whole pile of tomatoes saying this one doesn't look right, this one doesn't look right, it's my neshama that knows what's good for me and where I serve my purpose. It's an amazing thing. It gets very tedious. I can go very deep into this. But that's seeing Hashem even in my tomato.
Yes. Absolutely. And I also was just reading, I think yesterday, that in the Torah reading throughout the month of Kislev is that there are 10 dreams mentioned. And but by divine providence, all 10 appear in the Torah portions during this month of Kislev. And this is the best example, so the Alter Rebbe says, saying that one should live with the times. That is, to live with the message of the weekly portion in mind.
Yes, it is a total reflection of where we are today and in today's world. There are deep messages and codes in every parsha, and we can see this very clearly. It's not for no reason that this parsha falls around this Chag, and everything is certainly there. In fact, we'll take it one step further. The Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh teaches us that everything that we see or experience in our lives, it's funny, we just spoke about this last night in our shiur that I give every Tuesday here in Ramat Bet Shemesh, that everything that we see, so we gave, for instance, a very, common example. If I'm walking down the street and I hear a woman screaming at her husband on the phone, this has nothing to do with me. I don't even know the lady. But she's screaming at her husband on the phone, and I'm experiencing this. The Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, this is not Orit Esther Riter, this is the Baal Shem Tov HaKadosh, okay? So take it from where it comes. He says, there's a message in there that I'm experiencing this woman screaming at her husband. What does that mean? Well, it doesn't take, a college degree to understand. It means to me that somewhere very recently I was not respectful to my husband and I didn't treat him with proper honor. And Hashem is showing me through this other lady, this stark reality, pay attention, fix it, be more aware.
Amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
And I see also, I read that the color that comes with the month of Kislev is the blue violet. Is that correct?
The blue violet, which blue is the color of the sky. So it's again showing us that Hashem is there with us, surrounding us. All the messages are really one and of the same, one piling on top of the other. Trust me, I'm here. Every year at Chanukah, we tap into that same light that the Maccabim felt. If we display the same bitachon that the Maccabim, displayed, we have this ability to tap into that energy if we just have a mindset to do so, if we understand that we can do so. When there's the Chazal, there's a midrash that teaches us that when the Maccabim went into the Beis Hamikdash, there wasn't a jug of oil. Hashem created the jug of oil so that they will find it because they were relentlessly, stubbornly looking for that little glimpse of hope that Hashem had forgiven them, that Hashem had accepted their tshuva, that Hashem was happy with them. And so Hashem, because he saw them struggling to find that connection, that rededication, that they wanted to rededicate their lives to the Avodat Hashem, to servicing Hashem once again, Hashem placed that jug in the Beis Hamikdash so that they would find it. So what is the message for us? The message for us is, if you search for Hashem. Again, okay, till today you didn't know. Emuna stage 101, we're in our Emuna, I call it the diaper stage of learning Emuna, I don't know. I never knew. I had no idea Hashem was so intimate with me on such a level. Like he would be like choosing what tomato I was going to put in my salad. Okay, I didn't know. Get to know him in Kislev. You could do it. It's easier. Just like it's easier to do tshuva in the month of Elul, and it's easier to control our Yetzer Hara during the month of Nisan before Pesach. This month enables us to work on our Emuna and tap into seeing Hashem and feeling his constant presence.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, Orit. We're just going to take another break, and we'll be back now.
From talk to music, from Johannesburg to Israel, from sport to business, this is 101.9 ChaiFM.
Good morning, this is the Kabanah Show, and we're back. And ChaiFM is celebrating its birthday in Chanukah style. Join us the first night of Chanukah at Chabad's Grand Menorah Lighting at Kosher World in Glen Hazel as we celebrate ChaiFM's 5th birthday. That's Wednesday evening, the 27th of November, first night of Chanukah. The party will get underway at 5:30 p.m. Menorah lighting will be at 6:30 p.m. and fun and music and entertainment and the Chanukah spirit will go on way into the night. Don't miss the excitement. Please be there and join us. For more information, call ChaiFM or Chabad, etc. And if any of the listeners would like to just join in the conversation, it would be so nice. So the on-air number is 074 654 7335, and of course our SMS line is 34519, and the SMS charges are R1.50. However, if you want to avoid that, the on-air email is onair@chaifm.com. So, Orit, you are sharing such amazing words of such breadth and depth, and just giving us so much food to digest in terms of the month of Kislev and how we can start to prepare for Chanukah, which, please God, will be next Wednesday night, the first night. And I'd love to go into more detail about Chanukah and when we light the candles and that half hour that you spoke about and the 36 lights and. So please continue.
Yes. Okay, wonderful. So yes. Okay, so let's go back just a little bit to the times of creation. So when God created the world, the first 3 days there was light, and that was light that was shining in the world. But although it was only on the 4th day that God actually created the sun, moon, and stars, which are the actual, physical manifestations of light as we know them today. So what was that light those first 3 days of creation? So the Zohar Kadosh teaches us that the light that shined in the world those first 3 days was called the Or Haganuz, the hidden light. The reason why it's called the hidden light was after the 3 days that this light was shining in the world. Hashem, in his infinite wisdom, made a decision of hiding that light and storing it for the righteous to bask in the world to come. What was so special about this light? So the Lubavitcher Rebbe, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, actually teaches us that this light is the light of Hashem's truth. Mm-hmm. It dispels the darkness. It dispels the doubts. It dispels the mindset of, oh, Hashem doesn't love me. look, he's not answering my prayers. He's abandoning me, God forbid. He's ignoring me. He's not happy with me. I'm unworthy of his blessings. God forbid, that is totally null and void. No such thing. Hashem made a promise to us in the Torah that he would never leave his Jewish nation. We are his beloved children. Hashem loves us in a way that we can't fathom. That light, when we are able to get a glimpse of that light, that's the feeling that becomes it's not something I believe in, but it becomes something that's known to me. So how do I tap into this beautiful hidden light? So there's a couple of ways. We won't get into all of them now, but I'll just give one example, and then we'll go into Chanukah. The one example of how we can tap into that beautiful light. For instance, when I learn Torah and I relish in like this amazing, beautiful Torah insight. I'm just elated, totally an out-of-body experience. That aura ganuz, that hidden light is shining. It's that aura that's shining on my head. It's allowing me to be able to have that connection, to feel that direct line to Hashem, where again, and it's straight wisdom coming from Hashem straight down to me. It's no barriers, no hindrances in the way. It's a direct line to Hashem. That light is the light that Adam HaRishon was able to see from one end of the world to the next. That light enables me to see the insides of what's going on in my life. The inner wisdom, Hashem's wisdom of why things are occurring in my life, in the world at large. Why Hashem? It feels so painful. It's so hard. How come I can't get married? How come I can't have children? How come my children are not doing 100%? Why don't I have shalom bayit? All of these, on the surface, of course they're painful. I'm not here to say they're not, but with this light, and how do I sense this light? Let me just go first into that. The 36 hours that this light was shining in the world, those first 3 days of creation. Chazal teaches 12 hours each day times 3 days where the light was shining. We light 36 candles in Chanukah. Take out the 9 of the shamash, which is 45. That's not inclusive because that's just to use it to light the rest. It's 36 candles. Each candle really represents an hour of that hidden light that was shining in the world during those first 3 days of creation. When the importance is that I try to light the menorah, that first half an hour right after Shkia, right after sunset. That's when that light is in its biggest and fullest force. I have the opportunity during those entire 8 days of Hanukkah to submerge myself in Hashem's divine light. If I sit and meditate and contemplate in front of the menorah half an hour each night times all the days. And the first night I get to relish in 1 hour of the hidden light. And the second night, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours until Zot Chanukah, the 8th day, 8 hours of the hidden light. I get to, Bezrat Hashem, the idea is that I will be able to tap into Hashem's knowledge. I will be able to see the beauty in the hardships that I'm going through. I'll be able to see Hashem's truth and his warm embrace that he hasn't left me. I'll be able to tap into that wisdom of one end of the world to the next, where I'll be able to maybe, Bezrat Hashem, get a little glimpse into the insight of why things are happening in my life, and be able to absorb that message and dispel this whole mindset of God not loving me, because Hashem loves us all.
Mm. Mm. Yes, and you also spoke about the segulot after lighting.
Amazing segulot. Let me just touch on one more subject, which I think is important for all of us to absorb. When we're lighting, that external act of lighting the menorah is actually representing also an internal lighting of my light, my lighting up the light of my life. In other words, we, each one of us, have within us this point of inner truth, the divine spark, as we call it. It's that light, that connection to infinity. So when I externally do the act of lighting the menorah, I'm also internally lighting up the fire of my neshama, of my soul, to be able to create a more acute awareness of Hashem's presence in my life. So let's just, that's important to keep in mind. There are a lot of skulot. Let's start just by one of them. When we say the bracha, the husband says the bracha, or we say the bracha, Sha'asa nisim la'avotenu bayamim hahem, in those days, bazman hazeh, in these days. So when we say bayamim hahem, we should think about all the miracles that Hashem has done for us in the past. All of those memories, sort of to reach back into that whole idea of gratitude, because there's two mitzvahs that we're told by Chazal that are connected to the Chag of Chanukah. The first is the lighting of the menorah, and the second, is to say Hallel, is to recite the tefillah of Hallel. Hallel, what is Hallel? It means to praise, to pay gratitude, to express appreciation, hakaras hatov, to Hashem for everything that he does. Again, for the natural, quote-unquote, occurrences of my life, for the fact that I'm married and I have a roof over my head and I have enough money, and how you saved me here and how you brought about the great results there, and so on and so forth. To pay honor and gratitude to Hashem for giving us life, for enabling us to live and inhabit this world and work towards our eternity, which is a whole, subject in its own. But basically, the idea is when I say the bracha, bayamim hahem, I'm recalling those miracles that Hashem did for me. And when I say the words, bazman hazeh, during these times, I should, at that point, meditate. And again, this way you have to come prepared to Hanukkah with the list. I should request a miracle that should happen today, bazman hazeh, in my life right now. God willing, in the schut of the Maccabim, and my renewed bitachon in Hashem, that Hashem should, grant us and gift us that beautiful gift of a miracle.
Wonderful, wonderful. Orit, we just need to go to another break, and we'll be back with you now.
The best part of your day. At the heart of your community. All the talk. All the music. All the news. ChaiFM.
Welcome back to the Kabanah Show, Body, Mind and Soul of Emuna, and the month of Kislev, and our Chanukah coming up. So apps are a great tool. ChaiFM and Media24 are offering you a free subscription to My Edit app. Whatever your interests, the My Edit app will collect all the news articles on your topics of choice. To claim your free subscription, SMS My Edit and your email address to 34519 now, and we will send you the access code. Whether it's aeronautics or parenting, My Edit is an app for you. One phone, 101.9 ChaiFM, helping you to do a better life. And so, Orit, we're back again, and we need to wrap up. The time has just flown. I can't believe. And there's just so much more that I would love to speak to you about. So just to wrap up with some really, really juicy points about Chanukah.
Yeah. So I think if we want to go home today with some sort of a message, it's really as best as possible to start working on ourselves, to see that goodness in ourselves, to cherish who we are, to appreciate the fact that out of all the people in the world, Hashem handpicked every single one of us to be his child. And to really contemplate that whole idea of, when we say the word, we say it very loosely, the chosen people. What does it mean to be the chosen people? Well, we were all hand chosen. And I give this vision of, let's say all of us are sitting in a stadium. All the people of the world are sitting in a stadium. And Hashem goes on the stage and handpicks from every single person, that all the inhabitants of the world, he handpicks a select few to be close to him, to be his children, to have this, to be able to achieve this closeness that no one else, special privileges, VIP, if you want to call it. So to be able to see that specialty, that uniqueness in us, and the fact that we are worthy, the fact that we're good, and that jug of oil that every year we're reminded that the Maccabim found in the Beis Hamikdash, we, each and every single one of us, can find our own individual jug of oil. That jug of oil is that jug of purity, of goodness, of sweetness, of the ability to light our life, the life around us, and to really live life with purpose. And just as the Maccabim found that jug of oil with the seal and stamp of the Kohen, we can find that jug of oil, that purity, that truthfulness, that connection that we have with the truth, with Hashem, inside of us. And that jug of oil is also sealed and signed and stamped with Hashem's stamp of approval. Hashem's just waiting for us to call out and invite him into our lives. And God willing, during this month we'll be able to do so.
Wonderful, Orit. Thank you so much. That has just been awesome. And please God, Orit is going to be my guest next week again. And because it is Chai's birthday celebration and the first night of Chanukah, we're going to be delving into the word Chai. And we're going to be talking about ChaiFM, and we're going to continue talking a little bit more about the first night of Chanukah. So thank you so much, Orit. That was an absolute dream having you on the show, and I look forward to next week. And thank you to the listeners, and thank you.